Hey guys, it's me, Chris, coming at you from Forever USA. Now, Heat Press Nation has invited me in to go over a couple of our products with a small product tutorial. So today I'll be showing off our hot stamping foil with our B Paper Pro. One of my favorite things about the B Paper Pro mixed with the hot stamping foil is how creative and how customized you can make it. So we'll go ahead and get started with just a plain black print. Today I've chosen just a beautiful plain black print of a pineapple. This pineapple does not need to have any color in it because the thing that we'll actually be using to color it is the hot stamping foil. Now I have chosen two of my favorite colors to go ahead and mix onto this black image. We'll go ahead and do that shortly after we marry it with our B Paper Pro. So in that A-B marrying process is when I'll apply it to the back of that image. I want our logo to be faced towards me. I want to be able to see the Forever logo, and the image should be placed directly onto the white side there. So I'll go ahead and get that onto our heat press, and I'll get that pressed for 90 seconds overall. I'll cover it with a piece of parchment paper and get that pressed. So I'll go ahead and slide that under and get that pressed down. So the two hot stamping foils that I decided to choose today are gonna be two gold ones. I think they really have a lot of great uniqueness to them. No item should ever look the same, and none of them actually ever will look the same because we have so many different variations of this. So while this is finishing off with the heat press, I'm just gonna go ahead and get a couple of these cut right before it's done, if I have the appropriate time. So I'll just go ahead and get that cut off. Perfect. So, guys, right after that comes off the heat press, like I said, we're printed in full black right now. There's nothing else on there but black ink. We'll go ahead and immediately peel this to get that B paper off of the original image. So we'll pull that B paper slowly but surely to reveal that that adhesive has adhered directly to that image, directly to that pineapple that's on there. Now, if we're ever gonna be using the B Paper Pro, we will always wanna make sure to cut these lines on the outside of the paper. That adhesive does leave some there for us, and we don't want that to transfer over to the garment that we're going to be creating. So I'm just gonna gently go ahead and cut those edges off. I would hate for any of that to transfer over for us. Perfect. So now that I have that cut off, I'm gonna go ahead and get my garment. I'm gonna be using a 100% cotton t-shirt today, and I'm gonna be using that with this. Now, the best thing that I chose about this substrate is that it's all black. And I really wanna show you that just because you're printing in black, you can put it onto a black garment, but because you're using that hot stamping foil, you're perfectly fine. And we don't have to use any other ink besides that black. So just like most garments, I'm gonna go ahead and pre-press this shirt for a good 5 to 10 seconds just to remove that humidity out of it. So we'll go ahead and place that in. Not too long, once again, just to get that humidity out, get those wrinkles out so that it's going onto a smooth garment. That's perfectly fine. So we're gonna give this about 5 to 10 seconds overall and let it pop on up. Perfect. So I like to just smooth out with my hands, make sure that none of those wrinkles will be in the way. We're gonna go ahead and take our image and place it directly onto the shirt. I'm gonna go ahead and cover it with a piece of parchment paper once again. We're gonna push back under, and we are going to let that go for a good 5 to 10 seconds. All right. So now we have that there. And we are going to just now let that cool. While we wait for this to cool, we'll go ahead and cut our hot stamping foils to the appropriate size that we need them at. So like I said, it's super creative how you can do these. I'm gonna mix and match both of them. I would like the top of my pineapple to be a solid gold, whereas I want the bottom to have this shimmery gold on it. So I'll lay it directly over, and I'll make sure to cut off right there at the edge, so I am only using what I need. A big question that I always get is, well, how do I know that it's gonna stick to it? Well, this hot stamping foil only sticks to the ink that's already there. Once I do pull this from the ink, the only thing that's gonna come up is where the ink is. The rest of it will still be usable, and I will always say, make the most out of your products. Never just throw away the rest of it. You can definitely trim the edges and use them for even more customizable pieces. So let me cut the other one, and I'll only be using that one for the stem. All right, so we went ahead and let this cool down a bit, and now I want to go ahead and just remove this first layer, which is that A foil from the textile. It's cooled down, so I'll just go ahead and move it in a very slow rolling motion. We don't want to pull at any point. We don't want to yank. We definitely want to just roll that right off of there. Perfect. Like I said, one of my favorite things about this is it isn't all black, but despite it being in all black, we're gonna be coloring it with the hot stamping foil overall. So I went ahead and cut those 2 pieces of hot stamping foil. Now I know it shocks most people when I show them that you actually don't turn this sheet over to apply it. You apply it directly on top with the color facing you. Remember, you always want to see that beautiful color. You don't want it to be facing the image. It is actually pulling from this side. If you place it on this side, you won't actually get anything from that. So I'll just go ahead and place this bottom piece here. And like I said, I wanted it in 2 different tones and textures to really show how different it can be. So although it's a gold pineapple, now it's a super gold pineapple, and it's gonna be a beautiful thing that comes from it all. Perfect, so now that I have these hot stamping foils applied directly to that black image, I'm gonna go ahead and get that pressed. Now I went ahead and increased the pressure of this as well, but we'll be looking at a bit higher of a pressure this time around because we want them all to mesh together. We've done the first layer, which is the A foil to the B sheet, married those. Now we've done the B sheet to the textile, and now lastly we want to do the hot stamping foil to the textile itself. So it's kind of like a big sandwich that we'll be making here. So now I've increased that pressure. I'll get that pressed down for a good 30 to 45 seconds. It really does depend on your climate. It's something I want you guys to always be mindful of. So when it's a bit warmer or a bit cooler that you notice, maybe look at your time and temperature accordingly. So I said 30 to 45. In this case, I'm gonna stay a little bit on the lower end since it's already a bit warm inside of here. So I'll go ahead and get that popped up. And with hot stamping foil, it is a cold peel, a cold release. I'm gonna go ahead and put this to the side for now, and I'll let it cool down for a good 30 to 45 seconds, and then we'll go ahead and peel that off of there. So I've given this enough time to go ahead and cool off. Maybe about 30 seconds to a minute is all that it took for this to cool off. I placed it on the counter next to me, and now I'll go ahead and just peel these off. The favorite part of everyone's for this hot stamping foil is how easy it releases and how quick it releases itself. So all I have to do is start at one corner and just peel. As easy as that, it almost released itself. Just like I said, the only thing that comes off of this is the image itself. All of these corners here, I can actually keep and reuse. So these sides, the bottom here, I can reuse just about every one of these pieces to make something even more customizable. Let me go ahead and take off that top piece, place that there, and peel. And right after I got done peeling all of that, I'm left with this beautiful image. Once again, I printed it in all black and still came up with something just as colorful as this. I did take time to mix both of those tones, so you can see the top one is a bit more solid, whereas the bottom is a great shimmery gold overall, and it has a great feel to it as well. I mean, it's almost as if it is a part of the shirt. So thank you guys for joining this tutorial. If you have any questions, find me at Forever Transfers USA, and I'd love to answer them for you. So thank you guys, and have a good rest of your day.